now.
Yeah, it says waiting for you.
I don't know what that means.
Waiting for Dennis.
No, I don't know what that means.
There's a live chat here, and it says it's waiting for you.
GotBot
Goes live.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, Sam, because I'm live now. So I don't know what you're talking about. Is there 2 live streams or something? Because there shouldn't be.
No, now you're live.
Okay. All right, so I pressed the button. For those coming here and wondering what's up because I didn't start things off my normal way, I pressed the button. I accidentally ended my other live stream. I'll even show you what I pressed. I pressed one of the side buttons on my mouse and it ended my live stream. So just to kind of very quickly reiterate and start things off right here again, I want to apologize to everybody that was in the chat. I don't know one word any of you said. I don't even know who was in the chat or how many people we had because I didn't get a chance to check it back. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell. It helps me out a ton and lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Now, just to get very quickly caught up to where we were, and I'm sorry I don't have the visuals to show now because I've actually got all of those tabs closed. In case you can't tell, I'm not happy about pressing that button. Dead Ratchet. So I think the Dead Ratchet, if it's no better than the other 2-pack, I have zero interest in it. I think the 2-pack with Dead, Prowl, and Ironhide was terrible. I think their tolerance infinitely worse than the ones with clear plastic. I think the ones with clear plastic are all tolerance infinitely better. My Ironhide from that 2-pack cannot stand up, and the Prowl's not much better. Like, loosey-goosey. My Ratchet, he's fine. Like, he's fine. I have no desire to have one with the destroyed chest. The thing that they did there that they should have done with this one is they should have had the red stripe done. Of course, I have it all colored in. And I assume that we won't have to worry about the paint match of the white to the white plastic on that one. You know, because it's all white plastic. Shouldn't have been a battle damage chest. They should have just put out a sensible version to begin with, if you ask me. But that's just me. We also have Age of Extinction EP vinyl coming out. There will be 4 variants, 1,500 worldwide. And we're going to see pre-orders for the Age of Extinction vinyl EP going up tomorrow. 200 of them will have an explosion with a silver Autobot logo, I assume it is. 300 will have Galvatron with orange cons, whatever that means. 500 will have Optimus Prime with black Autobots. 500 will have B with black Autobots. And I read this and I saw the pictures and I was like, I don't understand which is which because the descriptions to me don't match the pictures. So if you can figure anything out from this gobbledygook and you want a record of the Age of Extinction soundtrack, I don't know, pre-order tomorrow, I guess. Super Groupies, they're doing watches, hoodies, and wallets. I think there's like 4 designs of each, if I'm not mistaken. So make of that what you will. DNA Design, I showed this off. They did an upgrade kit for Cheetor and for Rhinox. The Rhinox one is basically a hammer and a little covering that I think is supposed to cover the robot base for the Studio Series Rhinox in Rhino mode. The hammer can like basically transform in and of itself and kind of fill in his tummy. When it comes to Cheetor, there are new feet that replace the small feet that were on the Studio Series Cheetor, and new hands that replace his hands with two-tone hands that kind of have like Wolverine blades on them. Again, as I said a few minutes ago in the previous live stream, I think it's a cool set. I don't know if you really needed it, but I think it's a cool set all the same. That's the DNA Design one. We also talked about the Star Raiders because the Walmart Collector Con has started. The Star Raiders are up. Filch comes from RID 2015, and I think using the Air Razor mold makes sense. I think it's a cool mold. Farak is the Cyclonus in kind of a whitish, grayish, and red, if I'm not mistaken. Lockdown uses the Axle Grease mold. I think it's the smartest idea. And then the one that really stands out is Cannonball. Not a character I know a ton about, but I am cool with having another pirate to follow Thundertron. Apparently this one comes with the Cyber Planet key. Why they're including it with this guy and they haven't with other ones, I don't know. But cool, I guess that if you want a Cyber Planet key, I guess you're going to be able to get it. They also showed off today images of Silverbolt. By the way, in Quebec, at Geek Stuff Collectibles, apparently a collectible store in Quebec. Shard, Sandstorm, I don't know, the rest of Wave 2 basically showed up there. This is very interesting, though, at least in Canada, because we're seeing more and more first sightings be at like niche collectible stores rather than at your like big box retailers. I find that very interesting. I love the original Silverbolt, but that backpack, man, was something else. And not being able to move the wings, I always found to be a bit of a nuisance. I love this, but I do think the new one is going to be better. My only gripe with the new one is where the lower legs here of the robot are the front legs in his Griffin mode. I find that the front legs are too big and the back legs are too small. I don't hate it or anything, but beautiful robot, but I feel like they should have reversed the legs for the animal mode, I suppose. Cybertron Starscream, I think, is every bit of Voyager. Every bit of Voyager. Then I talked about Sandstorm and said I'm not interested. I've seen comparison images and stuff now, and like he's the same height as Tarn. I get that he's a lot bigger than Tarn, a lot bulkier, but I'm sorry, I'm not somebody who's buying into the higher parts count and more engineering nonsense. It's not a leader class. I'm sorry, it's not. Because you're going to have that, and yes, it's going to be more than a Voyager, but that's going to clock in, and I'm going to guess somewhere around 200, 220, 230 grams. That's a solid 100 grams less than a leader class needs to be. And I don't buy into it. If you do, if you're happy with it and you see that value, cool. But I feel like I was taken advantage of and burned by Astro Train that I detested. I prefer the Titan's Return, and I think it's better value for money. The Blitzwing was the same thing. I sold both of them off. I got rid of them. I rarely get rid of anything. And I got rid of them very quickly because they weren't for me. I know they're popular, but I just can't get behind it because I don't like anything about them. How many times are you supposed to bang your head against the wall before you accept like this isn't for me? And I feel like that's where I am here. It got to be $50 better than the Voyager from some years ago. And I don't know if I'm seeing $50 better based on what I've seen so far in comparison images and stuff. I think the Beast Machines Cheetor being a core class, it's fine. The mold is fine, though I think the cat suffers a bit. I think the robot is better. And I think the scant paint that's added, and it is pretty scant, I don't think does the figure any justice, especially since it's molded out of like a yellowy plastic. I think it really, really needed more paint because it's just too much of a sea of yellow, at least for me. Gears looks great. Shard, I think it looks really great. And the other deluxe is Chromia. I'm totally in for that. Excellent articulation on that. I get that it's a bike and stylized, but the Siege one is so terrible. That mold is so awful that I hated it from day one and said, as soon as there's a new Chromia, I'm immediately replacing it. And that's what I'm going to do. I think that was everything. I think we're kind of caught up to where we were in very, 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 very short order. Premium Collectibles, they're doing a stylized G1 Optimus Prime statue with what looks like a wing upgrade. In fact, at first, I didn't realize it was a G1 statue. I thought it was a version of the Dark of the Moon Optimus with the, jet wing, right? Jet wing Optimus, and have that upgrade, but it's not. The wing upgrade here seems to be made of like bits of his trailer. It's definitely stylized, but it's kind of neat. Now, I don't have the images brought up for that, but I do have the images brought up for the other premium collectible, which is, and let's share that one, and then I'm going to check in with you guys after this. And I'm so sorry again, guys, about what happened there. But let's get into it here with hold on. Yeah, is it this one? I think it's this one. There we go. Yeah. In fact, hold on, go over. There we go. There we go. So this is a gigantic premium collectibles Devastator. Let me give you the rundown of the details on this guy. I was blown away, honestly. Hold on. Let me find it. I got to find it here because it's a lot. Yeah, here we are. Here we are. So this statue is going to stand 45 inches, or if you prefer, 114.3 centimeters. His width, shoulder across the shoulders and stuff, 41.5 inches wide and 34 inches deep. This is going to be a statue that you will need substantial space for. Substantial space. 45 inches, not centimeters, 45 inches. That's insane. This looks very organic to me. If you look at Hulk at the top, he almost looks a bit curved, if you will. And I feel like this looks very organic. What else can I tell you about this? He's going to come with a couple of extra faces, or heads, I guess. There's going to be a regular and an EX version. The EX version is the one that has the extra heads. It also has like swap out hands. Like one hand can swap out and be a hand or a hand holding a blaster. The other swaps out to be a hand or a drill, if I'm not mistaken. But again, you have to keep in mind, as beautifully painted, as beautifully sculpted and stuff as this is, it is a statue. It will not come apart. It will not transform. It will not do any of that. I don't think there's a price for it yet. Not that I see. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think it looks beautiful. I'm sure at that size, it's going to be a hefty, hefty, hefty price tag with it. By the way, Fig Pin, they're showed off there. XL, Optimus Prime, and Megatron. These are zinc alloy pins that have an inlay of hard enamel and then electroplated nickel. So they're pins. Because they're XL, they're about 6 inches or 15.24 centimeters in size. So they're a bit big. They're based on the G1 toys. So like the Optimus has the weird forearms and the white line on his bicep. The Megatron has that, trigger crotch, basically. So, it is what it is if you're into pins, I suppose. Uno is going to be the very first product of the collaboration between Hasbro and Mattel. If I'm not mistaken, that's out. In fact, it's already out. It's an Uno flip. Couple of new rules, one of which is if a player lays down a flip card, then you'll have to turn your card around. Unlike the regular Uno game, Uno flip has two-sided cards. One side, in this case, will be Autobot. One side in this case will be Decepticon. And when you flip, you take all of your cards and turn them from, say, the Autobot side to the Decepticon side. Could very much change the dynamic of gameplay. It will not change back until somebody else plays another flip card. I don't know what the other rule is, but I think that's really interesting. I love a good game of Uno, man. I can dig that. I can get behind that. Hold on. I just want to make sure that I'm stopping here to check in with you guys at a good point. I think so. Let's check in with you guys. Hey, White Wolf. Hey, Franzies. Let me go up here, guys. Hey, Darren. Hey, Blue Star. Yeah, there was another live stream, and I accidentally pressed a button, and that's why that ended. It was totally my fault, Blue Star. There was like 16 people in there, yeah, and I always feel bad about that. Hey, Fire Prime. Trying to be a Take-Two, man. Trying to be a Take-Two. I did growl at the laptop. I was disgruntled. You got to remember too, if you weren't here when we started the other stream, I'm going on very little sleep. For some reason, I just couldn't sleep last night after work all day. I'm a tired GotBot, and I'm sure that had something to do with me pressing the wrong buttons. Hey, Ninja Bill. Happy birthday, by the way. Ninja Bill had a birthday a few days ago. Happy birthday, my friend. British Corey Burton voice. Greetings from beyond the views, right? Hey again, Dragonfly. We want an 86 Ironhide and Ratchet with stripes and matching panel colors. Hasbro, yeah, I mean, you're right. Why didn't they just release what fans wanted to begin with and call it good? The watches do look interesting. I admit I don't have images of them here, but I do think the watches do look pretty interesting. Let me close out, by the way, that one too. I found an upgrade kit for Titans Return Overlord. I think he had a few. What was in the upgrade kit that you found, Marcus? There's a few of them. Yeah, right. Which one did you get? As we go down here a little bit. The Toxitron line showed up. What? The Toxitron line showed up in your area now? Bit late, but hey, better late than never, I guess. The one with the articulated hands. Didn't know that there was one with articulated hands. If you have a Studio Series Ratchet, go grab the Matrix. I don't have a Studio Series Ratchet. Wait, just the regular Studio Series Ratchet, the Bumblebee movie one? I don't know which suit. Or do you mean like, you know what? You're saying SS Ratchet. Which Ratchet? There's a billion of them. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Studio Series Ratchets, I think. From like various iterations, of course, right? Articulated hands, gun hands, as we go down here a bit. Find it funny how third-party stores have new. I don't know if I call them third-party stores. They're just usually privately owned collectible stores. But yeah, I get what you mean. I already seen the Sandstorm transformation. It's kind of weird, to be honest. But into the into the helicopter mode. I mean, yeah, but like I'm looking at the accessories with it. I'm like, I don't think that this is enough accessories to make up the lost mass. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, this is not as impressive as I thought it was going to be. Can't wait for Starscream. He's my favorite design of the character. Well, you know what? Then I hope it fills your bill, because I think it's every bit of Voyager. He looks bulky, he looks big, he looks sleek, and apparently the articulation is comparable to the Siege Seeker mold, which I adore. So immediately that kind of puts him on good footing, right? Hey, Ed. Best thing to do is throw the scale out the window. No, that's not the best thing to do. Best thing to do is hold the company accountable so that you're not scammed and taken advantage of. Stop accepting less for more. Why do people do this? No. Demand Hasbro gives you full value for your dollar. That's what we should be doing. In fact, I would reckon that we shouldn't be buying what they're putting out now as a value proposition, because I think it's a terrible value proposition. I think they're overcharging by 2 to 3 times what they should actually be charging. I think that's how much we're being scammed. So no, I don't agree with that at all, Marcus. That's what they want you to do. They want you to throw the scale out the window. They want you to not pay attention, because that's how they take advantage of you. And that's exactly what they're preying on, you being gullible. That's what they're preying on. Don't do it. Don't let them have that. Don't let a company have the power over you as a consumer, ever. You have all the power. They have zero. None. They like to make you think that they do. They have none. They have to win you over. They have to win your business, win your buying dollars. You owe them zero. Absolutely nothing. And they owe you everything. They owe you their best. And they're not giving us our best. I don't believe that for a second. Hey, Ultra Megatronus. I know I'm skipping stuff, guys. I'm just trying to stay on topic is all. Can't do yeah, statues aren't for me, but they definitely got a market for sure, because they keep doing them, right? He may have to be shipped as freight. Honestly, I got to believe that statue is also going to be quite heavy. I got to believe that the shipping on that's going to be something crazy. Hey, Input. Hey, Grimlock gone. Okay, let's get going, man. I feel so bad. If you know that somebody was here and they got lost along the way, let them know that we're back. Will you please and thank you? Okay, what about this? Baiwei, I don't know how you say it. Their TW1030 Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. It's their take on Optimus Prime. It is a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's still Voyager sized. It looks like there's a lot more paint here, like a lot more of the red is paint rather than red plastic. A lot more of the blue on the lower legs. Actually, I think all the blue on the lower legs is paint rather than blue plastic, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's the Rise of the Beast, Buzzworthy Bumblebee, Studio Series 102. Optimus Prime, but with premium paint deco, I suppose. It'll be interesting to see how many people go with that version that missed the buzzworthy version, especially since the buzzworthy version seems like it's supposed to be getting a regular Studio Series release next year. It'll be very interesting to see how that Studio Series release goes. XTB, X Transbots, and we're going to mention these again a bit later, but I'll talk about it now. They're doing a Masterpiece scaled Ratchet for spring of this year, apparently. I mean, it's just kind of being revealed and stuff now. It looks really good. A lot of people displeased with the official Masterpiece Ratchet. There was a KO of it. I reviewed the KO of that Ratchet, and it was just terrible. Just terrible. I got to believe, though, it was the KO's quality, not the Ratchet quality. Like, I'm sure the actual MP is much better because the KO had a lot of problems with it. But this one looks really good. Now, that being said, X Transbots is also known for having great-looking alt modes, great-looking robot modes, and challenging transformations, we'll say. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it should be soon, since it's saying spring of 2024. He will come with three heads, and one of them is a red head with a white crest. The other two have different facial expressions. He's going to come with his one box, which I think is great because he should have that accessory. Something that the Ironhide and Ratchet for Studio Series 86 is missing. I talked about that extensively with the Earthrise ones. The one box will be included here. A bunch of blasters, a bunch of tools, ton of stuff coming with this. They're giving you everything in the kitchen sink. And I got to respect that X Transbots for doing just that. They're throwing in a collector card. He's going to be die cast. There's metallic paint on him. He's going to have rubber tires. 120-degree bend at the knee and the elbow. He's going to have skis. I'm not sure why he has skis, but cool. And he's even going to have an ab crunch. What more do you need? Honestly, like, what more do you honest to God need? Tower defense game by Mob Control, I guess. It will now have Transformers. Bumblebee is a character that I think you can use in both modes in this game. I don't know if this is a console game or a mobile game. I've never heard of Mob Control, I think it's called. You have to collect Energon currency, and then that takes you into the game where there's 6 levels and 3 boss fights. If you know the game and you want to try it with Transformers, hey man, you do you and go for it. Why not? Why not? But it's just another one of these collaborative things, right? Dr. Wu showed off Brains. Remember Brains? Yes, he was Wheelie's little buddy. I like Brains. And I even showed Starscream Wife, and even she said, like, looks like the movie. He's really cute. I love the Dr. Wu products. I only have a couple of them, and I only think there's certain ones that work at that MicroMaster scale. But man, oh man, Brains would definitely be one of them. He looks really nice paired next to Wheelie. Brains turns into a laptop, which I think is kind of fitting for him, honestly. Iron Factory, they showed off their 4-inch tall, or 10 centimeter, if you will. Starscream, great mold. Looks really good. I think we're going to see that maybe in the slides from TFCon LA, which we haven't gotten to yet. And this. How about we take a look at this? Yeah, this thing. This is, of course, the Target exclusive Target Optimus Prime, I suppose. This is the whole package. This is the like G2 Laser Prime mold, the one that was used for Laser Prime for RID 2001 Scourge and for Toxitron. I specifically think this is the Toxitron version because it has the colored crest on the head and stuff. The trailer, however, is not the trailer that comes with Toxitron or Scourge, or, for that matter, Optimus. This is obviously the more box trailer that was used with like the Earthrise Optimus. So it's like the Earthrise trailer and the G2 cab. At first I thought it was the VNR cab, but it's not. It's the G2 cab. And then you'll notice that there's a little dog there. I don't know where this dog comes from. I remember when we had Target here, but I don't remember the spokes thing being a little dog. I don't know. Maybe Target Canada didn't have the little dog. I don't know. But the little dog in this case is going to be represented by a version of Siege Ravage. Pretty much all white. Not a lot of color here. I don't know. If you really love Target, and as much as I miss Target, I don't really need this. But if you need an Optimus that's symbolizes Target, then get this, I suppose. I don't know what else to say to you. Get this. It's a fine mold. The G2 cab is a great mold. I do wish that the shoulder pylons moved a bit. I like the trailer. A lot of people complain about it being small, but I like the trailer. The Siege Ravage is not a great mold, but yeah, okay, sure, throw it in. Why not? No idea what the cost is on this, but enjoy if you have a Target near you, I suppose. Let's close that one out. We're going to check in with you guys again. Just very quickly here. Target Prime. Yeah, I can't do statues. Darren says he can't do statues either. Hey, input if I didn't say it to you, buddy. Just finishing Injectors 98 Zad Camaro. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what that is. I'm not a car guy. I don't know what that is. Uno, what? What was that? Where was that? How far up was that? Hey, Brian. I don't know if I said hey to you, Ultra Megatronus. Thing jumped on me, so you're gonna have to bear with me a second here, guys. I'm leaving for GalaxyCon tomorrow to meet Peter Cullen. Enjoy. We don't get that sort of stuff around here. Consider yourself lucky. Don't take it for granted, because not everybody gets to experience that stuff. What? Happy Forge Day, Nib, my Transformers term for birthday. Someone asked me how old I was. Said I was a dinosaur, and it seemed to recognize me. That's fair. I found my car dropkick. Wonder if I can make him to pick up truck based on 07. I don't see how, but good luck if you want to try it. Hey, Lance. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Keldio. Anyone looking for a Gamer Edition Optimus? Found 2. So if you're looking for a Gamer Edition Optimus, Grimlock Gaunt has one. Has an extra one, I guess. Next year, Hasbro will be getting even worse. Well, they're not doing good business. So if you want a specific figure bad enough, chances are a third party has already done them. Probably. I'm currently doing a custom 2007 camshaft out of Legacy Knockout. Interesting. I could see that working. That's not a bad idea. I could see that working. And Hasbro just lost 1.7 billion in the last 3 months. That's on top of the 3 billion they already lost. So they've lost about $5 billion worth of value this year alone. Good job, Chris Cox. You're doing great, buddy. MPP, KO Ratchet, great quality. I'm not an MP guy, see, so it was already uphill climb. But the one I reviewed, if anybody saw it, there were a ton of problems. It wasn't mine, it was Justin James. But that's our buddy Justin from the 3D Corner. And his was rough. Hasbro double dipping, selling Rise of the Beast. Optimus is buzzworthy and selling it in mainline. Yeah, I find they're doing a lot more of that stuff. Giving you the thing you almost want first so you'll get it, but then giving you the thing you really want after. Maybe you should just give the thing people want first so that you don't turn people off from your company, because that's what's happening. The dog is Target's mascot. I don't remember that. I just remember like the red dot. So, but okay. I'm not against the dog being a mascot for anything. The target Optimus Prime, and like the dog Bullet. My wife likes the target Optimus. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I don't need it, but I love Target. I like the mold and stuff. I don't see anything wrong with it by any stretch of the imagination. 65 $5 more. I guess that makes sense since you got the Battle Master thrown in there. 60 US though, man. That's insane. That's insane. That should be 40 US. That's nuts. I'm back from working on my custom camshaft, who is pretty completed. Good. Hey, Razor Bear. How has Hasbro not revisited the Omnibots? I don't know. The funny thing about my camshaft custom, without the blue details, it looks almost like the Revenge of the Fallen Sideways. If you say so, I don't know what that looks like. It wasn't in the movie, so I don't really know what it looks like. Okay, we got the Target Optimus out of the way. Cool. Fans Hobby, of course, we're going to kind of see this a little bit later, but I'm going to run through it now. They, of course, showed off Wingman at TFCon. Wingman, of course, is Predator Skydive. We're going to see some images in a bit. We also saw from them there the Star Saber team, the little trio of mini cons that go together to make the Star Saber, as well as the trio that goes together to make the Requiem Blaster, the Blast team. And they also had on display the Black Nemesis Armada Optimus Prime that they're well known for. And they had their regular Armada Prime combined with the Jetfire. And that looks gigantic and spectacular. So Fans Hobby on full display at TFCon. Takara, they're uploading some of the original Car Robots episodes. Car Robots, of course, would become RID 2001. This is to tie in with Omega Prime. Episodes 1, 24, 25, 27, 28, and 39 have been uploaded. HD quality, but no subtitles, just in Japanese. This is the beginning and the end of the series, as well as the first appearance of God Magnus, or Ultra Magnus, if you will. And the first appearance of Godfire Convoy, or Omega Prime. Speaking of Omega Prime, there's about 5 hours or so left. Last I checked, they're at about 23,500 backers. So it's wildly successful. However, this time they didn't seem to, at least as of yet, announce a secret tier. Maybe after it closes, they'll announce a bonus tier. Time will tell. Earlier, we talked about Dr. Wu, and we talked about, what was it that I mentioned that Dr. Wu had coming out? Oh, yeah, Brains, who turns into a laptop. Well, they also showed early renders, pretty much all in black, of a Rise of the Beast RC. Apparently, she should be 12 centimeters in height, should be movie accurate scale, according to Dr. Wu, and her wheels will be on her back as they're supposed to be. I'm not sure how they're going to pull it off. I feel like they're somehow going to adapt the mohawk that they did, but maybe it'll be a whole new mold. Who knows? There was a prototype this past week that was shown of the Transformers Legacy United animated Voyager class Optimus Prime. But this one had a head with a face plate. I have to believe that the version that we currently have, which is in the main line, and you can see Optimus's whole face, I have to believe that that mold is going to be used again, presumably for some sort of an exclusive. And I bet you that's where you're going to get the face-plated version of animated Optimus Prime if you want it, right? No details. Like I said, it's a prototype. The head exists. You know they're going to use it for something, right? You know they're going to use it for something. But so, it is what it is. Let's get that out of the way. All of that is done. That is done. That is done. Australia has the Studio Series Bumblebee movie, Voyager Shockwave. And it looks like the core class Shockwave, except this one has what seems to be lighter silver on the thighs, and the overall purple seems to be a shade or two lighter, but I think it's to his credit. The hose is also a nice silvery color. Looks really good. I've only seen a couple of in-package images, but I feel like that The Bumblebee movie, Shockwave needed a Voyager. Why we got that core class, I don't know. But he definitely needed a Voyager, and I absolutely support him being released as a Voyager. Dr. Wu again with the Dr. Wu. And then we're going to do trivia, and we're going to do the TFCon stuff last. Again with the Dr. Wu, besides for the brains, besides for the RC, they also showed off their version of Galvatron and Grand Galvatron. If you don't know Grand Galvatron, it's basically his head, his arms, and his legs attached to a planet. I don't know, but it was some of the remnants of Unicron or something, but attached to a planet, as well as some coloration. So let me kind of go through this. Galvatron in Micromaster scale. His cannon is translucent. Some of them have orange cannons. There's a repaint to look like the Marvel / Toy Accurate / Generation Selects coloration, where his body's mostly gray with the purple arms and the dark gray face. Grand Galvatron can transform into a planet, and really all you're doing is opening up the body and folding in the legs, the arms, and the head. However, I will say this: both are very articulated, and the Galvatron has a decent, for something that's Micromaster scaled, has a decent approximation of the alt mode. So if you're into a teeny tiny Galvatron, G1 by the way, Dr. Wu got you covered. Okay, here's the trivia, courtesy of our buddy Dragonfly. Okay, are we ready for this? In the 1986 movie, we are introduced to Blaster and his cassettes, of course. When the cassettes are introduced, who was the first one to eject from his chest? Is it A, Rewind? Is it B, Eject? Is it C, Steeljaw? Or is it D, Ramhorn? Who is the first cassette in the 86 movie to eject from Blaster's chest? Rewind, Eject, Steeljaw, or Ramhorn? And I'm going to check in with you guys, because when we go back, we're going to do the answer, and we're going to do the TFCon slideshow. Hold on. What is that? Yeah, I can close that because we already looked at that. Let's see. Whereabouts was I? About right here, I do believe, my friends. Target Optimus looks like Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. Kinda. It's, if you squint and put your head on the tilt, maybe. They said the Optimus was going to be an online exclusive for the first half of the year. Okay, I missed that. Okay, I didn't want to miss you, Ultra Megatronus. So go down here a little bit. You thought they did the Omnibots? Nope. Not since G1 have the Omnibots been done. Not to my knowledge, anyway. And I've looked it up. The Target Prime does look off, but I like the head crest on him. It gives me real Star Convoy vibe. I could see that. I could see how it would give you a Star Convoy vibe for sure. Nope, no pickups. No pickups. We don't even have anything new here. Like, you gotta remember that here we're still on wave 3 of Legacy. Not Legacy Evolution, wave 3 of Legacy. So we're pretty far back. Let's see. I wish Hasbro would redo Fort Max. I mean, why? The Fort Max that we got was great. Really great. And they literally just reissued him in 2023. So I doubt they're going to redo him. At least not soon. But you never know. Speaking of Omega Prime, about 5 hours left. And I talked about that too. Yeah. I'm getting SS86 Ironhide at the mall. Right on. Missed out on getting the Armada mold, sadly. I mean, I always miss out on Armada. It's not my thing. But, I hope you get one. It's what I don't know. That's what I would say. I remember when Energon Optimus first came out. I don't. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Okay. I know which one was Energon Optimus now. First came out, he had the mouth, and then for later releases. Yes, that's right. Yes, they did change his head and stuff. You're right. So they did. I've heard that before, and I've seen both heads when I reviewed him. I looked that up. I don't remember him coming out, but I do know that. I don't know if it was no, I don't mean Unicron. I mean Grand Galvatron. It looks like a Unicron body. Maybe it's a Unicron. I don't know where he got the body from. I don't remember. I used to know. I just don't remember. I'm not getting the new HasLab Omega Optimus Prime. Okay. That's up to you, man. Oh, hey, Kent. Just opened up Jazz. Why does he have Hound detritus weapons? I don't know. Does he? Jazz? I don't. Wait. Which Jazz? Which Jazz? I would ask. Fire Prime. Planet Galvatron was from the Japanese Headmaster series. Yeah, I couldn't remember it. It's been a while. Like, it's been a few years since I watched the Japanese stuff, right? So, and I'm old, so I don't remember. Okay, the answer was C, Steeljaw. Yes, indeed. Anybody who guessed C, Steeljaw, you were correct. Okie doke. One last thing for us to do, and then we can get out of here. TFCon happened on the weekend. During the dealer room display night, we saw Seed on display with his space bridge arc up over his head. We saw Iron Factory's Lio Kaiser and Sideswipe and their version of the Fallen on display. Their version of the Fallen seems very Prime Warsy to me. It has a very Prime Wars trilogy head, if you remember the Machinima series with the Fallen in it. A lot of nice flame effects. So that was Iron Factory and Seed, really kind of kicking things off. 3-0 also had on display in the dealer room that night a number of the M Deluxe products that they offer, because I think the M Deluxe is probably one of their most popular ones. And that brings us to the last thing we need to look at, which will be, if I share this, the slideshow. Rooster Teeth is shutting down. Okay, I don't know what that is, but sure, whatever. Probably shutting down because nobody's heard of them. When I got my Legacy Alita 1, she came with weapons from Wild Rider instead of the ones she's supposed to come with. That's weird. Crazy. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go to the other screen just for a second. Tell me if the screen here goes black or stays up. I'll be just give me 1 second. Okay, now tell me if you can hear me and see if you can see me. That's what I need you guys to do now. We see you clear. Okay, so you can see me when I do that. Okay, all right. All right, and see me now. No black screen. Nothing is messing this up, right? You can still see me fine, right? Okay, all right, good, because I want to be able to go through. Good, because I want to be able to go through the slides here without going back to the screen pretty quick. Because I have all my notes to everything here. So Make Toys was up first with their Colorverse, which already dropped apparently. And this first one, I do know the scale of this, but it looks like a Starscream with orange instead of red. Great looking Seeker mold. You'll also notice, unlike the Earthrise mold, down on the lower legs, there are no tail fins. That's why I don't like the Earthrise one. Tail fins are wrong. That's not what was in the animation. They should have folded away. I love this. I think it looks really cool. This, I assume, is a Thundercracker, I guess, although it looks a little purpley. It might be a Bitstream or a Hotlink or something like that. They call it Paul. 200 pieces worldwide. Then we saw this is just the renders for tracks. I'm going to guess it's an MP tracks, but I don't know for sure. Looks very clean. A lot of color. But again, these are just renders here. But I mean, it all looks very comprehensive. Comes with the alien mask, 2 alternate faces. This is what leads me to think it's MP because that looks pretty big hand. Excellent, excellent leg articulation. Looks like a nice, solid, clean car. I think I dig it. I really dig it. Let's just check in with you guys here just a little bit. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I love tracks too. I think actually that their version looks really cool. I'm kind of in for it. Of course, this is O1 Studio, so we have Cell in all of his glory. Yes, it's a beautiful looking Cybertron. People ask me if I'm getting it. I mean, you got to remember, I paid $275 for the Unicron shipped. $273 actually, I think, for the Unicron shipped. Or was it $249? I don't know. It was something like that. This Canadian's $411. Big difference. Big difference. We're not talking about the same thing, right? So I don't know if I'm going to see my way clear to get this one, but he looks pretty cool. I've heard that the transformation is insane. I don't know if that's true. No idea. Robot toys. They showed off these two. I think that they look really cool. I don't know the size. I feel like they might be legend scale. I really don't know, honestly. But what a looking Optimus Primal and Megatron. They look a little more robotic. Like you'll notice on the tail on his arm and on the back, there are some hard lines that seem like they're panels, right? So, and maybe the back of his legs are, is a little hollow. But like, look at that head sculpt, man. Perfect Megatron head sculpt. Really, look at the articulation. And this is what I was talking about. While it's still organic, there's something here that's a little more robotic, a little more in keeping with like the Dinobots. I don't know the scale here, but that's a beautiful Megatron in all modes. And even Optimus in his gorilla mode looks really good. But like, come on. Even slightly stylized, like there's no mistaking this. It hits so many wonderful, wonderful marks. Really does. Wildly impressed. You can even brush the teeth of the dinosaur head. And again, look at the robot mode face. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect. Gotta fly. Take care, my man. When you were young, did you believe that track swings seemed too small for flying anything on? I don't know if I thought about it, but now that you mention it, yeah, I guess so. I guess I always just assumed that he could thrust himself up with speed, and maybe I thought he was gliding. I'm not sure. That's a good question, though. Magic Square showed off their Dinobots. We've seen these before. Nothing new here. It is the original 3, so no snarl and no swoop. At this point, these look very clean, very nice. Here is Grimlock colored. I mean, that looks Grimlock. I think that looks really good for Grimlock. And that's Grimlock in his robot mode. Again, looks great. Needs an Autobot symbol on the chest, but otherwise looks great. I feel like that this is small. I'm assuming these are legend scale, of course, because it's Magic Square, right? Mage, speaking of legend scale, showed off their hoist. I mean, come on. Come on. Nothing else to say. It's fantastic. Looks like it jumped off the page. It's fantastic. Super impressed. Of course, he's going to also be tiny. But, like, look at the alt mode. Like, yeah. I absolutely dig it. Metagate, they showed off what looks to be a version of Bumblebee movie Dropkick. Of course, I'm pretty sure it was Metagate who done that pretty stellar, spectacular version of Shatter. So why not follow it up with a Dropkick? It makes sense. This is just what looks like an early render. So not much there. And then we get to Iron Factory. Of course, this is the Fallen that I talked about earlier. And you know what? Like, look at all the flame deco. Look at his, like, sword thing. Holy moly. Sorry, man. I mean, I think that looks beyond splendid. I like this version of Sideswipe. I think the car looks really good. I don't know if this is supposed to just be a regular one. It doesn't seem like the samarized. Summarized one, if you will. But this looks, I still think it looks really cool. Then we see Jaguar, great looking Jaguar, of course, with Jaguar breast, depending on if you follow the Japanese translation or the North American translation. Yeah, he looks great. Really great Jaguar, perfect alt mode, really good legend scale, so it's small. And of course, you could see that he makes up the lower part of the tummy and the thighs. For Leo Kaiser, of course, Leo Zach makes up the upper body. Pretty excellent, really excellent looking Leo Zach. The lower legs might be slightly bulky for my take, but oh man, it's so good. Like, look at that plane mode. Look how clean that looks. Love it. Great articulation again. And you can see it right there. I mean, I think Lyle Kaiser looks really, really great. And we can see how they incorporate it together. DX9. Been a hot minute since we've seen DX9. They showed off their mini Chrome Dome. Now, I saw this and I was like, wow, what an excellent Chrome Dome. Where it's mini, I assumed that like Legends scale. And I was like, look at the articulation. Look how clean the robot mode is. You even have the little stats in his chest, right? The ab cruncher. Then I saw this and I'm like, that's not a great mode. What's wrong with the hood? Why does it look like the car's been in an accident? Like, where's the hood? It just, or the bonnet, if you, live where that term is used instead of hood. I don't really like the alt mode. Don't think it's a great alt mode. I would expect better from New Age. No, this is DX9. Yeah, I don't know. The front leaves something to be desired for me. They're also doing a version of what looks like Power Master Optimus Prime. God Ginrai, maybe. Unique Toys. They showed off their version of Dino or Mirage from Dark of the Moon, I think it was. Was that Dark of the Moon? I think it was Dark of the Moon. I mean, man, look at the blades on his arms. I mean, really, really good. They've done some great MP scaled stuff here with this. Like, look how clean the alt mode is, If it's half as good as this guy over here, this other dude over here, then they got something special. I don't remember his name, but I know that the Unique Toys version of, I think it's Lockdown. I mean, people adored that thing. Is Peru Kill? Is that what it was? Is that what it is? But I know that it was adored. And the robot mode looks like it's off the screen. I support this. I think it's great. I'm not an MP guy, but boy, oh boy, really. And even those door wings, they can go down on the back. I mean, he's a big boy. You can see right there how big he is, right? That can give you an idea right there of how large this guy actually is. And of course, we saw their skids and their mud flap, MP scaled as well. No one's doing these guys. So you know what? Why not throw your hat in the ring and flesh out some of the movie masterpiece stuff? You know what? Why not give it a go? Give it a try. See how it turns out. Time will tell. They showed a lot of these guys. I think they scale perfect with Bumblebee, honestly. And then we come to Kang Toys. Swoop? I'm assuming this is Swoop. It's so stylized, though. It's hard for me to tell. I don't care for this. Maybe you do. I'm not a huge fan. Like, that doesn't look good. That does. That looks really cool. And I think that head looks really cool. And I think it makes a convincing arm for what I assume is going to be volcanics. And I don't know what this, it's called D Spider, but I don't know what it's for. To me, it looks more like a crab than a spider, but you know what do I know? Let's check in with you guys very quickly here. As much as I want a Megatron, I'll pass. Or sorry, Megatronus, I'll pass. Well, the Megatronus there is small, and I think we're going to get a Megatronus in the main line up and coming. Looks kind of samurai with the skirt. Maybe it is the samurai sideswipe. Maybe it is. I didn't think it was, but maybe it is. Yeah, you're saying you're getting the 13 new primes. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. They haven't announced all 13 yet, so let's see. But you know what? I gotta believe if you're starting them, you're going to do all 13, right? I gotta believe that too. I don't like jumping the gun, but I gotta believe that that's going to happen too, right? Hey, Darren, take care, buddy. Okay, let's finish these off so we can get out of here. Then we came to Mechanic Skull Show, and they're doing an Armada. Hold on, Armada, Starscream, and Skywarp. Obviously, it's going to be the same mold. I think this looks really good. As you can see here, the status is a work in progress. The drone can be assembled on either of the figure's forearms, right? So, like, that's cool. I think that this looks really clean. I think it looks great. Honestly, well articulated. That looks like Gurk mode. Yeah. I don't know the scale. I assume MP, but I'm down for it. Dream Toys or Dream Stars showed up their Superion. I've heard nothing but problems with this. I've heard it looks great, and I've heard the arms break off from the silver bolt, if I'm not mistaken. So it looks great, but I've heard that the build quality is not good on this. Maybe your experience varies, but I can go on what I have heard. X Transbots, we talked about earlier. This is their Defensor. We've seen this a lot. It's their hotspot. You can see we have one of the legs on. This is similar-ish to some of the ways combiners have been done, where torso is the whole body, although the arms seem like they're going to be their own self-contained arms. In fact, we kind of have a mock-up. I thought we had a mock-up. That guess not. Thought we did. They're also doing an Ironhide. I assume MP scale. This looks way better than the official Ironhide, I do believe. Two different chest readouts, right? The one with the like heartbeat thing, and then just his regular chest. I think that looks clean. I think it looks really good. I love the head sculpt. I think it looks really nice. I like this. I think that the STV version looks great. I would imagine that the transformation is insane. Well articulated, tons of accessories, the skis, and all different faces, including an all red face. I'm not sure why we have that one. He too comes with his one box. This thing, which is the back of the Vanette, is called the one. It's a real life accessory. This is a thing. People say, "Oh, that's a sled. I don't like it." It's a thing. It's an actual thing. As we go on here, I'm not belaboring all of these. We can kind of blow through. They've done a lot of pictures of Ironhide, and like it looks great now, but like, come on, man. Do you need a billion pictures of this Ironhide? I got tired of looking at it. Look at this, still going. And of course, they're doing a Ratchet, exact same mold. I like this. Look at that beautiful red stripe. They didn't show us. They didn't show us the robot. Toys, they were on hand with their Ultra Magnus. Now I'm going to give credit where credit is due. This Ultra Magnus is something special because, if for no other reason, his armor can come off and we can just have the white cab. Highly articulated. I've heard that even with the armor on, all of this articulation is still intact. I can't speak to it myself, but it's what I've heard. A little bit bigger than Optimus. I think that this scale looks correct, looks accurate, even though the old Sunbow art would say that they're the same size. But I do think that that looks accurate. His blaster, that looks accurate in his hand. I think this looks really good. I'm a Fans Toys fan at all. Love the metallic paint. Don't like the transformations. Don't like the build quality. But I do like the look of this. And look at those doors to the cab. They even open and close. So many different faces, including one that's two half heads, which is weird. And a Matrix. And I think the Matrix has an LED that lights well. Then we get into looking at their Scavenger, good looking Scavenger, and their Scrapper. Like they look good. Scavenger and Scrapper, they both look good. Great arm, great leg, you know, like again, it's MP scaled. I don't know if the MP Devastator market has been saturated with Toy World's constructor. He seems to be the champion. We'll see how this plays out, I suppose. I do think that the purple used here looks a little more pinkish or fuchsia than actual purple. I don't know how I feel about that, but time will tell. Not much else to say. That looks really good. Get rid of that. And they're doing a version of Ironhide as well. So like a lot of MP Ironhides, the official, the X-Trans bots, and the, the fans toy. So I don't know, you got your pick of Ironhides, I guess. I'll say this, neither this one nor the XTB one look like they're wearing a diaper. So that's a plus as far as I'm concerned. Still looks to be re-articulated. Obviously, they're doing a Ratchet as well. A bunch of heads again. I could see some people really liking the angle of this chest and stuff. The Vanette looks really good. Clean. The doors open. I like that. The Ratchet, of course, the same thing. And then we get to MMC. Let me just check in with you guys for a moment or two. Got to show off Ironhide vacuuming, right? Good time to be an Ironhide fan, I guess. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what Alchemists will transform into. I don't know what half of them will transform into, to be honest with you. Like what Solus could transform into. So, coming from MMC, we have a couple of the tapes. These are the Japanese ones of Rosie or Rosa or something like Rosita, I think was the first one. I don't know what this one is, but a couple of the cassettes. Then continuing on, we have well-articulated cassettes, by the way. Those cassettes are really popular. Again, we've seen this a billion times. Their take on Hotspot. He looks great, but then biceps, man, he's been hitting the gym something ferocious for sure. But it doesn't seem to hinder his articulation any. And he even seems to have a base mode. Cool. I mean, you can make up your own mind here. I think he looks really clean other than the gigantic forearms. That's his combined mode. Of course, we're using, 2 police cars and 2 ambulances here, but you get the idea. I like this. I think it's a great look defensor. It's a powerful looking defensor. Then we see Mixmaster, who also looks really cool. I'm down for Mixmaster. I mean, I'm not an MP guy, but like I agree with it. It looks like the thigh piece comes from Mixmaster too. I like that. Include the thigh piece with the leg, not the torso, I think. I think that's a smart way to go. And Scrapper, again, the other leg. He looks very clean, very nice. No hollow bits. I mean, here's both legs done for you. And there's Devastator, who I think looks really clean. I wonder how the... I don't know what you call it, the bed of the long haul on the back. I don't know if it'll hinder like a waist articulation or anything. Time will tell, but this looks really, really good for MMC. And MMC always does such spectacular work. And we have Roll Bar. Cool, I guess. Neat. Okay. You see this, you probably think, hey, it looks like Green Swindle, which I get it. I understand why you would say that. But very clean. Everything compacts here on the back and stuff. Nice. And again, becomes a like combined mode leg, right? Fans Hobby. This is Wingman. This is Predator Skydog. Looks great in both modes. We talked about that last week and showed them off. This is the Star Saber little trio team. And you can see how they go together there. And look at this in the hand of their huge Armada Optimus Prime. Like, this is a big set of Minicons. And, of course, these guys go together to give us, that's right, the Requiem Blaster. And, again, you can see how big the Requiem Blaster is there in the Optimus hand. And this is the black Nemesis. I'm calling it Nemesis Prime version, right? It looks very Nemesis Prime-y to me. Sinister. Even the Minicon is a little sinister-y. And this obviously is a tease of none other than Tidal Wave. Right? It's obviously a tease on Tidal Wave. And that's all, folks. And you know what? Honestly, guys, with that said, I'm the same thing. I'm going to get out of here. I thank each and every one of you for coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, Do not forget, especially you guys, because you have been in here now twice this evening and you've put up with my foolish antics and shenanigans. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, like tomorrow when we look at Titan class Cybertron Metroplex inside the videos.